when we won the Second War against the United States, then in 1876 at Little Bighorn, when our people came back to the areas where they were protecting treaty territory, and this treaty territory starts from the mouth of the Missouri down through the Bighorn Mountains and south of the Platte River in north south, Nebraska. It goes to what is now Council Bluffs and Omaha, Nebraska. Our people crossed the river there and followed the east bank all the way back up to the north of to the mouth of the Missouri. And when Mahpialuta and his band went back to the Bighorn Mountains, he declared war on the United States. We won that war. That's the first war that the United States lost. We won that. And it led to the Treaty of 1868. And the commissioners who came were told, give the Indians everything they want. So what we asked for was a nation-to-nation treaty, and we got it. And we knew that they were after the gold in the Black Hills. So Mahpialuta told his ambassador, his name was Ohitika, he's my grandfather. My grandfather negotiated the treaty on behalf of Mahpialuta, and he would allow the United States to come and dig for gold. That's the only mineral that the United States was allowed to take because it was valuable to them, and they killed each other for it. So he figured it had value to it. So they agreed that the United States could come and dig for gold on one condition, that half of that gold that they took out of the Black Hills would be placed in special appropriations for our seventh generation. And then the United States wanted to call it a nation-to-nation peace treaty, that our nation would never go to war with the United States. And yet, in 1876, they came at us at Greasy Grass, the Battle of Little Bighorn. But prior to them coming, Sitting Bull had a dream. He dreamed that the soldiers were coming, and the soldiers would kill every man, woman, and child, our dogs, and our horses. They were there to annihilate all of us, including all our allies. And so what I get from that is they had never intended for anybody to be alive, and they never had any intention of honoring that treaty. But we won that war. It was well strategized because after Sitting Bull had that dream and told the people they're not ready for war, we won that war. And it was well strategized. The only soldiers we were up against was Custer, Benteen, and Reno. And the women rode in with the young people and stampeded the horses first. And so they rode in on the stampeding horses to take the guns away from Custer. They stampeded Renos and Benteens. And young warriors like yourselves rode in and took the mules that carried the ammunition and guns, and that's how we got weapons. Crook only stood on the ridge with his soldiers and watched the action that was going on. And some of the units that came, some of our allies never got to go into battle because by then they were all dead. So that's how Custer lost. So the intent of the United States had never to honor that treaty, even though we won the war. When people came back to the areas, the soldiers were waiting, and they put up the reservations. And we've been prisoners of war for the last 140 years. And when people came together, it was already prophesied that when the planes fall from the sky, then a nation would come together. Nations would come together. And if you look at our medicine wheels, there are the four colors. Black for the west, red for the north, yellow for the east, and white for the south. But it also represents the four nations. And they all gathered here when Standing Rock put out the call to fight for the water, to protect the water and the land. So our treaty territory starts from the east bank of the Missouri River. So Morton County is in treaty territory. What they're doing here was the Army Corps of Engineers thinking they own the land. No, they don't. It's within sovereign treaty territory. And the people who stood up were from the Cheyenne River Reservation. that are actually doing everything they could to keep us here, because many of us, when we came, we made the commitment to watch this, to protect the land base, to protect the water, and to stay here for as long as it took. For our leaders, who are now the tribal council people, that's the only government we have. It's under the BIA and what used to be the Department of War, so it's called the Department of Interior now, and they work for the government, but they're still Lakota people, they're still our people, and they're doing everything to protect the treaty, because when they took office and swore in as tribal council people, they swore to uphold the treaty, and that's what they're doing, and that's the only government we have. And so we're holding the line until we can win, and we will win with peace. In a peaceful, spiritual manner, we will win, and that's why we were up against the people who were agitating, instigating, and this camp doesn't need that. We don't need that. We need the prayers. And when we were down at the camp, people walked up to the bridge and they sang and they prayed and they walked away. They didn't have any problems with the police, and that's the way it should have been, and that's the way it's going to be. We are going to be present. We aren't going to think negative. We stay with prayer, and we pray in the mornings. I pray in the mornings. I go outside. You don't have to have a pipe to pray. You take a cigarette, or if you don't smoke, you take a tobacco. You go get up in the morning with a cup of water, and you pray when the sun is rising, and you drink the water, and you thank Basra for watching over us and continuing to watch over us. That's all we pray for, is that we're praying for Oda to protect Mother Earth. We have to stop all the raping of Mother Earth that's been going on, and all the minerals and things that are coming out of treaty territory. We're intent to stop it. Keystone XL pipeline is also trying to go across. So we have people in all these different areas making camps to protect the water. They're also in prayer. And what we're doing here is going to be an example for all the other camps going up to stay in prayer. So, and I was also in Wounded Knee. I don't know if I mentioned that. And we have to defend ourselves. So Wounded Knee, when people are talking Wounded Knee too, it cannot happen. It will not happen. Because once you put down the gun, put down the pipe, and pick up a gun, Basra is going to smack you. That's not the way to win this war. The way to win it is through prayer. And I too appreciate all you people who came, because you were meant to be here. The road you walked through your life led to this camp, to this action. Of all the 7,500 people that came, and all the nations that came, that's what that prophecy was. After the, and I don't know if you remember those planes going down. They were operated by digital, and they lost their way. So and in the end, the United States is going to discover or recognize that our indigenous people have the most perfect civilization because we live off the land. And many of you live in cities, have to pay rent. You're standing on a treadmill just to keep up with your lifestyle or whatever it is you have. Now you know that this is perfect food. What you're going to learn from here, that you can do without a lot of things that you were dependent on in the past. So I appreciate you guys coming, every one of you, and the things that are going to be set up, and you're going to learn from our people. And you're probably going to end up learning some of the, what they call the Sundance songs. Those are prayer songs. Each song is a prayer. And what Madonna said about, Oyate Kiyani Pista Chale Chamo. So I do this so my people will live. And that started with Ben Blackout, with Blackout, when he went up on the hill for the last time. And he prayed, and he sang that song. And it's part of our Sundance song. That I do this so my people will live. And it isn't just us people, it's our future generation. Oh, Lamra.